Okay, think about your morning. It feels pretty simple, doesn't it? But what if I told you that just getting out of bed is one of the most complex biological missions you accomplish all day? We're about to dive into the incredible science that powers your morning routine. You know the drill. The alarm goes off, you open your eyes, you swing your legs over the side of the bed. It feels automatic. But underneath it all, your body is running this incredibly complex series of operations just to make that happen. So let's pull back the curtain on the biological marvel that is your morning.
So before you can even think about your to-do list, your body has one primary mission. It needs energy, and it needs it now. After a whole night of fasting while you slept, your cells are basically running on fumes, and they are crying out for the fuel they need to power the day.
Now here's why you actually need that breakfast. A plant can just hang out, soak up some sun, and make its own food. They're autotrophs. But us, we're heterotrophs. That's a fancy way of saying we have to be fed by others. We've got to consume other living things to get our energy. That's why your first meal of the day isn't just a nice little ritual, it's a flat-out biological necessity.
Okay, so you eat your breakfast, a piece of toast, maybe some cereal, but how in the world does that become the actual energy that lets you walk, think, and, live? Well, the answer is this remarkable molecular process called cellular respiration. This gives us a great bird's-eye view of the whole energy factory. So, picture this. A single molecule of glucose from your food is about to go on this wild ride. It starts out here in a process called glycolysis. Then it dives inside the cell's powerhouse, the mitochondrion, for the next two stages. The entire point of this whole journey is to create this tiny, super powerful energy molecule called ATP. Think of ATP as the universal energy currency for every single one of your cells. It's the cash they can actually spend.
Let's break that down a bit. As you can see here, those first two stages, glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, they're kind of like the warm-up act. They get the process started, break down the glucose, and make a little bit of ATP. But the real powerhouse, the main event, is that final stage, the electron transport chain. This is where the magic happens. It's an elegant chain reaction where the vast majority of your breakfast energy is finally unlocked. And get this, look at that number. From just one single molecule of glucose, your body can crank out up to 38 units of ATP. That is an incredibly efficient biological engine. It's turning your breakfast into pure, usable power for billions of cells. And that is why you feel that rush of energy after you eat. All right, so we've made all this amazing energy, but what good is it if it's just stuck in one place? We need to get it out to trillions of cells, from the neurons firing in your brain to the muscles in your big toe. And that, my friends, is the job of your circulatory system, the ultimate biological superhighway.
And here's the engine that drives that whole highway, your heart. On the left, you see the muscle itself, the physical pump. But look over to the right. That's the really cool part, the sophisticated electrical network that actually makes the pump go. It ensures your heart beats with a perfect, life-sustaining rhythm to push all that energy-rich blood exactly where it needs to be. And this whole electrical cascade happens in 4 precise, lightning-fast steps. It all starts at the top, with the SA node, your body's natural pacemaker, firing off the initial spark. That signal then gets instantly relayed by the AV node, travels down that central bundle, and finally, the Purkinje fibers tell the powerful ventricles to contract and push the blood out. All of this? It happens in less than a second, with every single heartbeat. Just incredible.
And the highways themselves? They're highly specialized. Your arteries, with their thick muscular walls, are built like pressure hoses to handle that high-pressure surge of blood being pumped away from the heart. Veins, on the other hand, are the lower-pressure return route, bringing all that blood back to get re-energized and re-oxygenated for its next trip.
So we've made the energy, and we're delivering it. But who's coordinating all this? What's telling the heart how fast to beat, or the stomach when to start digesting? That's the job of the ultimate command center, your nervous system.
Our nervous system basically has 2 main branches. You've got the central nervous system, that's your brain and spinal cord, which acts as the main headquarters for all decision-making, and then you have the peripheral nervous system, which is this huge network of nerves that sends and receives messages from every single part of your body, connecting it all back to HQ.
Now, within that peripheral system is something amazing called the autonomic nervous system. The best way to think about it is as your body's autopilot. I mean, you're not consciously thinking about digesting your breakfast right now, are you? Of course not. That's because the parasympathetic part of this system, your rest and digest mode, is taking care of all of that for you, managing the countless background tasks that keep you alive and running smoothly.
We've looked at the fuel,
the delivery network, and the command center. But let's zoom out one last time. What built all of this in the first place? Where are the instructions for building a heart or a nerve or a stomach cell? Well, it all comes down to the master blueprint of life itself. This is one of the most fundamental ideas in all of biology, the central dogma. It's super simple, but so powerful. It just says that information in your body flows in one direction, from the permanent DNA blueprint to a temporary RNA message and finally to a functional protein. And it's those proteins that are the actual building blocks and the tiny machines doing all the work in your cells. The whole process starts here with DNA replication. Before a cell can divide, it has to make a perfect copy of its entire DNA library. As you can see here, that famous double helix is carefully unwound, and each strand is used as a template to build a new, identical copy. This is an absolutely incredible feat that ensures every new cell gets the complete instruction manual.
But to actually do something, a cell doesn't need the whole library. It just needs one specific recipe. So a temporary copy of a single gene is made. That's called messenger RNA, or mRNA. That's transcription. Then, as you can see happening here, a little molecular machine called a ribosome reads that mRNA message and builds the exact protein it codes for. And that's translation.
So, to put it simply, replication is like photocopying an entire encyclopedia. It's a massive, high-stakes job. Transcription, on the other hand, is like quickly jotting down a single recipe on a sticky note to take to the kitchen. Both are absolutely crucial, but they serve very different, very specific purposes. When you just step back and look at the whole picture, it's just astonishing. You've got all these systems, digestive, circulatory, nervous, and genetic, all working in perfect concert. It's like this massive orchestra of trillions of cells, all playing perfectly from the exact same sheet of music, that DNA blueprint, just to power your morning. So next time you get out of bed, just take a moment. Remember this incredible biological machinery, this silent, complex, beautiful symphony happening inside you. All of it working in perfect harmony, just to start your day. It's a powerful reminder that even our most ordinary moments are, when you really look at them, truly extraordinary.